Our heroes have found the Fenrir wolf, tied and chained on a rocky outcrop attached to Yggdrasil by a thick length of chain. They have managed to mostly free him from the sword pinning him down, and now have to work together to release his chains. Will they be successful? Let's find out. Everybody, and welcome to A Rendezvous with Destiny, a Sky-On actual play podcast. As ever, I am your GM Luce, and with me today I have...
Hello, my name's Graham. I play the character of Elspeth Lockwood, who today is trying to not fall off a giant wolf again. We'll see if that works. Probably not.
Well, you're on the floor at the moment, so that should help.
Don't underestimate my powers. Or overestimate them.
Hi, I'm Will. I play Cleo Brewer, who is a hunter of Bast. And Cleo's just going through a bit of a time right now, and said certain possibly quite rude things in the last episode. So we'll just have to see how those get reconciled as we move on.
It's making my heart go all mushy, and I don't like it.
Ha.
It's cute because after that, Will did say, "Oh, you know, Am's messaged me really old. I'm sorry if I upset Flora." And I was like, "This is the best piece of role playing we've had in a couple episodes, and I'm very excited about it." Hi, I'm Am, and I play Flora Watson, daughter and chosen of Sun Wukong the Monkey King. And I just think I'm glad that people have 2 weeks between the episodes. Because what happened was, because we record these in 2 blocks, at the start of the last episode, we were all kind of burnt out and tired. It's a Sunday afternoon. We've all been working our butts off recently. And as we slowly did more and more shenanigans together, the energy has just gotten manic in a good way.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back, baby.
And it's a lot in the best possible way. But yeah, I mean... I came up with a topic to talk about last episode, and we haven't thought of one for this episode. We're just going to see what happens. What's on everyone's minds?
I've got some rubber ducks in front of me. That's sort of mainly on my mind.
That's pretty good. Which ones have you got? Because you have quite a few.
I've got Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, classic.
I've got Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
I've got just like a Roman centurion. I've got Cleopatra, and I've got Ptolemy.
Where do you? You've got a duck of Cleo.
Do you obtain these ducks from the same place each time, or is it like
from the British Museum?
Okay, so it's like is that every time you go there you get a new duck?
Pretty much, and then I sometimes get given them for Christmas.
Luce and I walked into the Ashmolean gift shop yesterday, and we were just sort of like going through the random stuff, looking for bits and pieces to get for people or whatever, and Luce immediately just picked up some dangly earrings, was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna buy them." So... They're like earrings with this sort of center thing, and they jingle as Luce walks.
They do jingle. It's very exciting.
Good.
That is so good. I was going to say something I forgot. It was about the ducks. Oh yeah, Will has been calling... Every time Will has referred to William Shakespeare, we were watching Scrubs last night, and one of the characters made a Shakespeare reference. And Will was
it was the Todd.
It was the Todd, yes. And Will refers to Shakespeare as Billy Shakes.
Yep,
which
my
is
good
what
old man Billy Shakes.
Right. The best buds.
It's a certain kind of energy that I really enjoy.
It brings it down to earth.
William Shakespeare was not a pretentious man.
In any way, shape, or form.
Everything is dick jokes. Everything is dick jokes.
This is why...
2 in the swear jar, please.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's not a swear.
It is, according to Ofcom. We can't
really?
say it without it being... Yep.
Without it being like someone's name,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah, they're all Richard jokes. It's all about Richard III, that well-known Shakespeare play.
Yeah, just call them Richard jokes. From now
Okay.
What a good Richard joke that was.
You're such a Richard.
You're such a Richard.
Just, if your surname is Head, never name your son Richard.
Or definitely do name your son Richard. If I was Anthony Head,
treading
I
the
wouldn't
line,
no,
guys.
You have to name him Anthony Stewart, obviously.
Oh my god.
Yes, of course.
My
Oh yeah, I saw young Anthony Stewart Head in something I watched the other day, and I can't remember what, but it was very disturbing to me because in my head he's just always a man in his late 40s, early 50s.
Firstly, in your Anthony
no
Stewart
older, no
head.
younger.
Doing such a Richard, Amelia.
I'm just looking at what he's been in. It's.
And we should probably actually get moving on the recording of this
Yeah, well,
podcast.
I'm just curious because the young thing that he's in is Repo the
Buffy.
Genetic Opera, which I know for a fact you haven't and won't ever watch.
Correct. That is a crazy production. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, there's a puppy who needs rescuing.
Anyway,
yes, let's.
RSPCA.
Break
You
the
did very well.
chains.
You've done some rescuing,
Yes,
but he needs help.
he does.
Let's
Gotta get the
make
chains
like
off.
Daenerys and break the chains.
But maybe no genocide, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe not the genocide.
This wasn't on my to-do list.
Anyway, Big Wolf.
Yes.
You have taken the hilt off the sword, so when you start to free the chains, he will be able to pull his head up and get that out of there. So
But the big wolf
you're all on the floor now.
is still in dire circumstances. It's a dire wolf
Indeed.
joke.
So these.
Thank you.
Yes, I know. That's why I giggled.
Okay, I couldn't hear it. I assumed it just died.
It was more of an internal kind of giggle,
Okay,
but
good.
so these very thin chains are crisscrossing over Fenris, and they seem to be held in place by big sort of tent peggy type things that have been hammered into the ground.
Okay, let's unhammer them, I guess. How do we do
It's
that?
up to you what you guys want to do.
How big are they?
Well, because the chains are very, very small,
Yeah.
they are quite thick, and they're sort of like triangles that have been hammered into the ground over the chain to keep it secure. They're not massive, but you don't know if there's any magic protecting them or anything like that, so what you want to do?
I have an idea. Which is, can I get out my fun sword bow thing?
Yes, you can get out your fun sword bow thing.
And I want to sort of...
Isn't it in Madison's bag?
Oh yeah, I'll just ask for it. Hey, can I...
Yep.
Thank you.
He passes it to you.
I'm gonna kind of grab it and try and place the tip of the blade sort of where the tent peg is, push it down and flip it out. You know, like when you're trying to open the lid of a jar with a knife?
Yeah.
Similar principle.
I see. In that case, can you roll me stamina athletics?
Okie dokie. I'm not good at this. I am not strong, but I'm good with coming up plans, so maybe this will work. Okay, one success exploding. Exploding again. Exploding again! I just rolled 3 10s in a row on the same dice. Oh, and then it was
Very
a 3.
nice.
Wow. Oh.
So 3.
Yeah.
As you start to do this, you can feel it seems to be working. It seems like you're pulling the tent peg up. It seems like it's levering out of where it's jammed into the rock, but it reaches a certain point, and there's this loud sort of chiming noise and this flash of bright white light, and you are thrown backwards a couple of feet.
Ow.
Oh no. Okay.
Don't try and dislodge the pegs.
So, wait, we can't do the pegs, we can't do the chain. We can do the chain? I assume, wait, there's got to be a weakness somewhere. Surely. Can I go take a look at the chains?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I want to specifically look at how the links are bonded together.
Okay. Roll me intellect academics.
Yay! Things that I can do. Which I say every time because I get excited about being vaguely capable. Watch me fail now. 4 successes.
Okay, so as you look at the chain, the links are normally when you have chains, all the little loops are sort of like folded over each other, then closed together, but you can still see where the join is.
Yeah.
As you look closely at these links, you can't see any joins on each of the individual little loops,
Okay.
but the chain does feel soft.
Soft.
And you're not sure, because you know that from what you've read about mythology, this is the strongest chain in existence.
Well, yeah.
And you're not quite sure what you can do, but you think there must be a way to maybe undo the magic or undo something that was done on the chain and be able to take it apart.
Okay, so new plan, guys. I don't think we can, obviously, Peg's not working. Thank you for trying it. Hope you're okay. We're not going to be able to prise the chain apart as it is. I mean, come and look at it. This thing's pretty smoothly done. But it's enchanted in some way, right? So I'm thinking maybe if we can break that enchantment. On inspecting the chain, are there like runes carved into it, or is it just unmarked chain?
As you look very, very closely, because it is very fine, you can see that there do seem to be runes carved into each of these tiny little loops.
I know runes. Can I work out like how the magical system works?
What is your knowing rune thing exactly?
So it is under my occult skill, and it's a part of my Skyon heritage from the Norse pantheon. Is that I can read and understand the runes, and I can also use the weird magic to slightly see the future. The latter bit probably not helping here, because the future is the end of the world, hopefully.
Okay, so what do you have in occult?
I have 3 points in occult.
Okay. Can you roll me intellect occult, and I'm going to say 7s and up will work.
Okay.
And let's see what happens.
2 successes. Oh wait, 7s and up, sorry, so 3 successes.
3 successes. So as you look at the runes, they seem to say things like strength, protection, hold fast, sort of these words repeated over and over again. And you think, as you look at it, the magic is something to do with the repetition.
Okay.
So maybe if you could change what the runes say.
If we can break the chain of the runes,
you might be able to stop.
The chain.
Yeah, so if you think maybe if you can break the runes, the chain will no longer work.
Okay. Can I try writing in a different rune?
Yes, you can.
Inserting it into the system?
Yes.
That just says break or something?
Yes, you're going to have to find something to do that.
Does anyone have anything sharp and pointy, but not the size of a giant sword, preferably? Fred, can I borrow your pocket knife?
He chucks it at you.
Now, I'm hoping Fred has a magical pocket knife. I don't know. We're going to find out. Fred, I hope you're not attached to this, because it might... Don't worry about it, actually. It's going to be fine. I want to try and carve a rune in.
It was a gift from my dad, so not really.
Oh, okay. Lots to unpack there. Don't worry about it.
Silence NPC.
I'm going to try and carve a rune in using the pocket knife.
Okay. What do I want you to do? What? Just tell me some of the stuff on your character sheet.
Okay, so
what weird stuff you got going on?
I've got points in academics, athletics, close combat, culture, empathy, integrity, leadership, not medicine, occult, and persuasion. So I guess the closest one here is probably occult or the academic
what
stuff.
What sort of
in terms of like the attribute stuff.
Knacky things do you have?
Oh, knacks. I have ones that are useful here are probably the non-combat ones. I get a +1 enhancement to acting on my purpose. Don't know what that means. I can identify sources of magic in the area, so I guess I could maybe.
Oh, yeah, chain is
that.
very magical.
Magical chain, yeah. I assume to be a lot going on. I also have the office hours one, where if I work with someone else to solve a problem, I get enhancement. So maybe I could get some help from.
Yeah, I'd say people are
Professor?
helping you with this. Yes, Manatee will come over and
Yeah.
they help you figure out what to write, sort of thing. So you can apply that.
Okay. The rest of them are all combat knacks.
Yeah, in that case, I definitely want you to roll occult.
Okay.
And I would like you to roll resolve occult, please. And you get the help from your thing, because Manison will help you out with this.
Okay, so I get the enhancement, which brings it down to 7 and up, right, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, 7 dice. 7 and up. Let's see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Ooh, very nice. I'm going to do a quick roll for Manison and see if he can aid in any way. He's going to essentially take a help action for you. But that was a very good roll.
Thank you, it never happens to me, so that's good to know.
As was that. I'm rolling very well for Manison today and no one else. Okay, so as you sort of, Manison and you work together, you figure out exactly what you should carve into one of these little loops, because essentially what you can do is you can change one of the words by carving in a couple of lines.
Smart, very smart.
Say from one of them so it means break or shatter, something like that. As you start doing this, the chain starts to glow, and you're finding it really difficult to move the penknife to make these scratches, and you almost think you're getting to the point where you can't do it. And Manison puts his hand on your shoulder, and you feel sort of a surge of confidence, and you manage to push through. And as you finish the last stroke of this new rune system that you've just carved onto one of these loops, that loop shatters. Quite explosively shatters. And the chain starts to unravel, and as it does, it starts to turn into almost like shards of stars, and they start to glow very brightly, and they sort of float up and off Fenrir, and they float, and as you look, they start to twist around in like a spirally kind of shape, and they fly out just into the void that surrounds you, and they form a constellation. These bright sparks form this constellation, and you know how constellations work. You draw the whole shape, but the stars are just there, like join the dots. As you look at it, this constellation seems to be an image of 3 people and a giant wolf.
Oh, hello. Okay.
I very pointedly look at Cleo.
As the chain goes away, Fenrir sort of stands up and the blade falls from his jaw, and he takes a step forward, and the entire rock you're on seems to judder. And you know, though, that sort of bass sound that is so deep you can't hear it, but you can feel it in your bones.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone has hit a giant gong, and you can feel it rattling, and it seems to rattle and emanate across the void throughout the entirety of the world tree. And as Fenrir takes another step, same thing happens, but it's a smaller feeling sound. He starts to sort of walk forwards a little bit, and as he does, he shrinks from this behemoth of a wolf. He steps forwards and steps forward. He shrinks and shrinks and shrinks until, as you look at him, he's so big you didn't really notice, but it's very clear that he's still very much a puppy.
Oh.
And he just sort of trots up eventually. He's probably about the size of... He's still big. He's about the size of, a Irish settery type thing, but he's still got the massive paws. Obviously, he hasn't grown into the paws. Slightly, Alsatian-y kind of, slightly Alsatian-y ears.
The giant ears.
And then sort of pads up to Loki and sort of flops down in front of him and just in front of them, just sort of nuzzles at their leg. And sort of rolls over on his back and has his tongue hanging out of his mouth.
Does his mouth look injured still?
As he was moving, you saw that green magic was still there in his mouth, and it seems now that it's slowly starting to form into a scar.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, no, he just rolls over.
Great. This is imperative information.
So rolls, so he's lying on his back, tongue out of his mouth, sort of just panting, wiggling a little bit.
So, I mean, we did it. We did what you asked. I guess I gotta go do this thing with the box, but can the others go now?
You look over and Loki is sat on the floor, head in their hands, sobbing.
Oh God.
Maybe just give him a minute,
Yeah. Can
Then,
I? Oh, go on.
Fenrir gets up and starts to lick the tears from their face.
Oh.
Can I
Salty.
inspect the constellation a little bit more?
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to look at it. Do I?
It's pretty.
What do I roll?
Presence occult.
Oh, I'm bad at this. That's 2 dice. Okay. Yeah, that's 2 3s.
It's pretty, sparkly. It's made of stars. Shiny, indeed. Would anyone else like to roll to see anything about the constellation?
Yeah, I want to see if I recognise the people as us,
Again, so it's going to be the same roll, I'm afraid.
which is sorry.
What did I say it was? It was occult
what?
and presence.
Okay, that's not actually.
You have
that
presence,
bad.
You
don't
have
you?
big presence.
I do be
we
having
have
presents, yeah. I've got 4.
4 whole
very-
presents.
It's a lot of presents.
Christmas is
Nice,
coming.
yeah. Dice be rolling. I've got 1, 2, 3, and another one. 3. Successes on that.
As you look at this constellation, you can tell that it is showing the 3 of you freeing Fenrir. And
Okay.
something in you knows that other people can see this now. It's not just out here.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh no.
Other people can see this.
Oh,
This is
no.
now-
Concerned.
Essentially, what you have done is you have you have undertaken a journey, you've gone on a quest, you've done an adventure. These sort of things are known to the gods when they
It would be
happen.
Known for the end of the world.
Does that count as me being praised? Publicly?
Yes, I'd say it would.
Nice. I get a legend point for that. I don't
I'm
know
just
what
I'm going to
legend
say you get
does,
2
but
and everyone
I
else
get
gets
it.
1.
Nice.
I
You
don't
can
know
spend them
what's
to do
fine.
things sometimes.
But we haven't been doing
fine.
Because we only had 1 and it scared me to use it.
Well, you've got a few more now.
I can use mine to heal up, I think, stuff like that.
Yeah, you've all got stuff you can do with your legend points.
that. Okay. Cool.
I can move really, really fast if I use
Gotta
mine.
go fast.
And
Gotta
I
go
can
fast.
also give someone a celestial title for a legend point.
Oh,
Yes,
that's the
'cause
title
you spent
thing.
yours, didn't you?
I
Oh,
spent mine on
nice,
myself,
nice.
but now I
I
have
like that.
another one, so I can name someone something and it inherently becomes true.
I think you should keep giving people titles just to mess with them.
It's very funny.
Flora has some ideas.
Good. Very good. You could name Cleo friend to Flora.
She wasn't gonna.
Make
She
it
was
so.
gonna name her that, but
Oh no.
maybe something else. I don't know. Not at the moment.
Suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Flora's just gonna kind of sit down on the branch, like, with her, just wrap her hands around her knees and just kind of like look at the constellation and wait for Loki to be done.
I'll go sit next
It
to him.
takes a little while. Lots of emotions in Loki, just a ball of emotion. But eventually they and it goes on, and you can see they are just hugging Fenrir on their lap. Eventually they sort of pull themselves together a little bit. They sort of shake, wipe the tears from their face, stand up, holding Fenrir, sort of just one paw either side of the head, and then just leaning on and like the, you know, when you've got like holding onto the back legs, and then they've got the paws on the shoulder, and then looking over the back, looking behind you. Fenrir's that, looking around, looking quite chill actually. But they come over and they sit next to you, and they just, I honestly don't know how to thank you. Thank you so much. I know that this is going to have consequences, and they were consequences that needed to happen. But I'm not going to lie, it wasn't completely selfless why I asked you to do this, and your oath is now completed. There's nothing else you have to do. If you want to go, I can take you back to Washington. You don't have to do anything else, but I will say that what has been happening is a lot bigger than any one of us. Events have been going on for millennia. Even in this timeline, the battle has never stopped. It's not being actively fought at the moment, so I suppose the battle stopped, but the war is still happening against the Titans. And I know that we could use your help to stop it. I know it's difficult, I know it seems impossible, but you have been chosen for a reason. And honestly, this is some of the furthest this has ever gotten, in the good way, for this. But if you don't want to continue, you don't have to, but you don't have to, but I will say things will be better if you do. I know that just before we started to go on this mission, that Apophis was stirring, and I think that means trouble for Bast, specifically for Bast. So I know, and Loki turns and looks at you, Cleo. I know that you don't particularly want to be here, but she chose you for a reason, and I think she might be in trouble.
Hi Scions, Am here. Hope you're enjoying the episode. Just here to say that we would usually have an ad break here, but we didn't have anyone to promo swap with this week. If you're interested in using this space to feature some of your podcasts or live streams, or even like an Etsy shop, anything you want us to feature and swap promotional material with, just feel free to contact us at rwdpodcastcontact@gmail.com. That's rwdpodcastcontact@gmail.com. Now back to the episode. I wonder what'll happen next.
Can I ask you what's going on at the moment, like back in the real world?
life has been going on as normal. Tends to.
Do people miss us?
Well, your family will be missing you, but I assume that's the same since you went to university. People miss you,
Okay.
your families, your friends. They know you're not there at the moment, but they don't know that anything's particularly wrong. I know time is strange here, but honestly, it probably hasn't been that long since we left. Maybe a couple of days.
Like, I was just thinking that this has all happened so quickly. We never got to say goodbye.
Would you like to? Would you like to go see your family?
And Cleo's sort of gonna lift her head and look very quickly at both Elspeth and Flora. And just, I bite together again. Yes. Yeah.
We've got to find a way out of Yggdrasil, but it shouldn't be too difficult now. And then just tell me where you'd like to go. I can help you get there. And let's be real, I think I very much owe you all a favor.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that one, yeah. And her breathing's just sort of slightly ragged and she's like staring at the ground.
Loki nods at you and doesn't say anything else.
Okay.
Do Flora and Elspeth like hear this conversation, or is it like to the side?
Yeah, this was to the side.
Cool. I thought so. Flora kind of turns around and she's like, "Well, I mean, I know you said we were free to go, but I kind of have a promise to keep. So, once we get out of here, I gotta go do that. But it's just a simple delivery, and we had pickups and deliveries and stuff from food at the bar, so I'm not too bad at that. I'll be fine."
Well, presumably, if it's like Egypt heaven, then, or like Egypt where the gods are, then Bass will be there as well as Sobek, so we can sort of kill two birds with one stone.
You're gonna come? Are you?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Nice. So, how do we get out of here?
I think best thing might be to grab some sleep. Because not going to lie, feeling a little drained, and I don't know about you guys, could really do with catching some Z's. Then I will lead you back to Earth, and then I can help you figure out how to go from there.
I'm sorry. Did Loki the trickster god just say catching some Z's, or did I miss that?
I did indeed. Let's not mention it again.
Okay. No?
Yep.
It's in my brain.
Okay. And they look shattered.
Alright. Should we set up a little camp, I guess?
Yeah, let's
Do you want to not be on the spooky rock? Can we go down to the tree? I don't want to be on the torture rock.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know.
I think
There's
that's
spooky
probably a
stuff
good
on the
idea.
tree. Okay, we'll go back down. Nice.
There's spooky stuff everywhere. We're in a void.
Fair point.
I mean, a void would have no spooky stuff, right?
That.
Too tired for this one, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Too tired for philosophical conversations about the nature of voids. Okay, so let's. Loki sort of very, very tiredly snaps their fingers, and then you're all suddenly just on the branch.
You could have done that before, couldn't
Or then they lean down like, oh god.
you? Oh,
not
okay. All right.
Oof.
Let's go. Let's go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, let's go sit.
I got a quick question.
Yeah?
Is it considered rude to light a campfire on the big tree?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It's
Can't
just
see why it would.
wood, tree.
Well, yes, wood tree. It's an old tree. It will be fine.
All right.
As long as
okay.
I think, as long as you don't actively burn the tree, I think we'll be good.
Leave no trace, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Just think you're in a forest.
Okay. Cool.
The adrenaline is pumping for me, so I'm good to take first watch. If anyone else wants to join, don't have to. But you guys should get some sleep.
Okay. Yes. I'll take last watch. I'll probably be up early. Who wants to claim middle?
Yeah.
There we go then.
Cool.
All right. Wake me up when you're ready, Flora.
You got it.
I'll be over here, probably not sleeping, but that's fine.
Cool. Does Madison or Fred or Cleo join, or is everyone sleeping?
Fred will join you for first watch. He's just sort of not speaking really, but sort of just obviously not wanting to go to sleep yet for some reason. Maybe just sat there, sort of knees up, like resting his elbows on his knees and just sort of staring off into the middle distance.
You alright?
Don't really know, to be honest. I don't know, that's not a helpful answer.
I mean, you can go home now.
Sure.
What do you mean, sure? You did your thing. I got Cleo as my backup. Presumably, Elspeth, if she has nothing better to do, we'll be fine.
I know you will, but yeah, no, you guys are amazing, but don't really think if it's all right with you, I think I'd rather continue to tag along, if that's okay.
Your death wish.
Probably more useful here.
Okay. Gonna kind of just rest her head on his shoulder.
He sort of then leans his head on yours and then just continues to stare off into the distance.
Yep, just comfortable silence for the rest of the watch, I think.
Yeah, nothing happens on your watch. You see no movement on the tree. You see the stars and the colourful nebula seem to shift, but they've been doing that the entire time. And you just sort of watch it as it slowly moves past like clouds across the sky. Your watch is peaceful, it's restful. And then you wake up Elspeth to do her watch.
I'm gonna wake up Madison as well, because
I was going to say, I was going to grab Madison.
Flora loves to engineer the social dynamics of the group, and she's like, I think Madison and Elspeth should have a chat, and I think Loki and Cleo should have a chat, so I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's a good plan. He was going to be my first pick anyway.
Mood. So yeah, you shake Madison awake. He was asleep. He wasn't deeply asleep, and he sort of cracks his back a bit and stands up and goes for a sort of does like a couple of loops round the fire, around the extremities where you set up your camp, just to see if everything's all right. And he comes back and sits and sort of looks at you, Elspeth. Is everything okay? It's been a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what I expected, but I don't think being thrown into starting the end of the world was high on the list.
Yes, it is somewhat confusing.
We're all pretty new at this still, and
yeah, it's a steep learning curve, but
is it always a steep learning curve?
Probably not quite this steep, but you're doing well. You're doing a lot better than I did when I found out about all of this.
How did you find out?
The moon, talked at me.
God. And
Yep.
How was that?
Terrifying.
Yeah,
Fully-
I think I would just assume
fully
I was
terrifying.
hallucinating.
Yep. Yep. I thought I was on something. Maybe I'd accidentally eaten some psychedelic mushrooms. So
Okay,
I
learning a
hadn't.
lot about you today.
the
Okay.
moon was speaking to me. And then it
Right.
told me I had to go on a quest. So I did. Yeah.
Has it always been this poorly structured? Sorry,
Yeah,
that doesn't
I
make
don't-
sense.
I
It doesn't.
don't really think they know how to deal with children.
But
no
they've
matter
been
the
doing it for so
age-
long.
Yes, but I don't think they've learned. They're gods. They don't really change.
You don't think they can change at all?
I think they can, but I think it takes a very long time.
If they change, are they fundamentally different people, though? I mean, if they're divine aspects of a certain thing, right?
I think
So-
they don't. Unless it change is possibly the wrong. They do not change. They are who they are. They are static in a way, but I think they can shift around their domain.
Okay. I see what you mean.
It's I still have so much to learn about all of this, and I will never get to do it in one lifetime.
Are you planning another lifetime? What?
Well, no, but we've obviously
Okay, I didn't realize that was an
lived
option.
many.
Oh, we haven't,
is-
though. I mean, we
yes,
have,
it's
but we weren't there for
confusing.
them. I'm still getting my head around that. I don't like the idea that we've failed so many times before.
No, that's not a good feeling. But he said it wasn't always. They did say Loki. They said that it wasn't always you. So
Yeah, but
it was other people
don't
as well. I don't know if that makes that sentence any better.
no, I appreciate the thought, though. It doesn't, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of expectation, and then being told that you've already managed to mess it up, potentially an infinite amount of times before already, doesn't help.
Well, I'm not sure if it is actively you messing it up. Maybe things just went wrong. We've been
What's
in
the
some
difference?
pretty hairy situations. Maybe they didn't turn out the same. Maybe that weird goat spider thing killed everyone. Because that was close. I didn't like that.
God, that would have been embarrassing.
Yes,
After all that, and it's the goat spider.
the goats. Asgard is a weird place.
Yeah, I was
Just
trying to forget
gonna
about the goat
put
spider.
that out. Yeah, just going to put that out there. Strange place.
Yeah, well, it's not all bad.
No,
So-
no, it's not. It's got
So-
a good library.
Look briefly at Loki and then back at Madison.
Madison
So,
clocks you doing that and starts to blush, but is trying not to blush and is determinedly now not making any eye contact with you.
what are you gonna do next?
I think I will maybe head back to Washington, or maybe I will take a sabbatical and see if anyone needs help with
All right.
helping yes.
Yeah.
And
okay.
as he says that, you think he's very much saying, yes, I want to help Loki right now, but I don't know how to verbalize that.
Well, as you say, I suppose sometimes they're not fixed points, these people. So,
It blushes
I don't know.
even brighter red. It's
you can only try.
full on plum, cherry, tomato red now. Not just when she's all over. You can see it's the blush is starting to go down his neck. He is glowing with how embarrassed he is.
Well, anyway, moving on from that.
Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Strange question.
Yes.
How did your last essay go?
Oh, heck. I may have had something due I want to say last week. I don't know what week it is anymore.
I'm sure we can fudge something. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fine.
Sorry.
We'll put some paperwork in.
Yeah. Tell him I was ill or something.
I'll backdate an extension.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks. I don't suppose you have any destination advice. I need to go north.
North? Oh yes, that's... Well, I know
maybe you
that
have any tips.
there is something called the Last Inn.
Yeah.
It is
Easy to find or
place-
difficult?
It's not difficult to find. It's a place where people like us and people who maybe don't fit in so well in cities, who look more, not monsters, but creatures. It's a way station. It's somewhere where everyone who knows can go, get a drink, have a chat with people.
So it's like the strawberry fields.
It's like the Strawberry Fields, but a lot more organized.
Okay.
The Strawberry
Right.
Fields is very small and
Oh.
caters to people in Washington. The Last Inn, there's many ways to get to it, and it's a place where there's no veil, so there's no need to hide. You still have to hide in the Strawberry Fields because regular people can go in as well.
Right.
So, but it's only us folk in the Last Inn, so
It sounds kind of refreshing, actually.
it is a nice place. I have been there sometimes. It is good food.
Okay.
It's a great breakfast.
Oh. I mean, is there like a veggie version of Bradford? Don't worry about it. I'll find
They
something.
can do lots of things.
They'll have like a mushroom burger or something like that. There's always...
Why is it always mushroom?
I don't know. They're not good. Anyway, yeah. I don't know when we'll go. It looks like we've got a whole list of places to go now, but
It is technically in the Arctic Circle,
yeah.
is where it is, physically, but it has many doors.
Okay. Well, if you could give me some...
I
Write me a little
can-
guide of how to find it. And then
Yes,
we'll-
of course. Yes, I will help you do that.
Okay. It could be my homework assignment, bit of extra
Sure.
credit.
We
Maybe.
will. A little bit of extra credit.
Nice, okay. I like that. Alright, well, I'm sorry, I'm bad at small talk.
So am I. Should we just sit in silence?
Yeah, I
It is.
think that would be nice.
I like you, but my brain is somewhat fried, I think is the American expression.
I think so. I mean, mine's just going around in circles. They're big circles,
Yes.
though.
Like a big locomotive
Yeah, very wonky circles.
on a track being controlled by a very drunk person.
It's like, have you ever seen that Wallace and Gromit film where they're laying the track as they go? That's what
Yes,
it's like
ve-
in my
very
head
much.
at all times.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I feel that.
Alright, silence it is.
I have a book if you would like to read.
Oh, I would actually.
I actually have many books. And he sort of like sheepishly like starts to reach into his bag and just like pulls out like a
Just all
handful of
books.
books. Just like offers you a selection. There's a wild mix in there. There's some historical fiction, there's some sci-fi, there's some fantasy, there's some really obscure technical guides.
Elspeth wants something with dragons in.
Dragons. I can.
All good books have dragons in. This is a fact.
I have The Hobbit.
Yeah, I could go for that again.
There we go.
Which edition do you have? Oh, this is a nice one. I like
It's
that.
very old.
Oh,
yes.
it's good. Where did you find this? And they
Little
probably just
bookshop
talk
in
about that
Oxford.
forever. Oh, really? Yeah, just swapping book fun
Yes.
indefinitely.
You read on throughout your watch, occasionally looking around, but again, nothing seems to disturb you. Then you wake up, Cleo. And Loki is up as well.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Better. Would you like to meet Fenrir?
I would. I would, yeah.
Loki comes and sits next to you, and Fenrir is on their lap, and he's looking up at you, and he's got head cocked to one side, ears slightly flopping over to the side, very big eyes, mouth slightly open, tongue sort of like lolling out the side of his mouth, just like staring at you.
Hey boy, how you doing? Hello. And just give her a little scratch behind like the ears.
There's like this sort of like thing where they like not shudder but like wiggle a bit in excitement, and
Yeah.
as you scritch them behind the ear, it's not words, but it's almost like a telepathic feeling, and it's just warmth, happiness, contentment. And you sort of scritch around the ear and you find like a really good spot, and it's sort of like, yes, nice kind of feeling just emanates across, so like almost like up your arm and into your head.
You know, I wasn't sure about doing what we just did, but
No, I can see why. It's
we made the right choice.
Thank you.
I've just been wondering when the trickster side of Trickster God is gonna happen, you know?
Yes, I can see why people tend not to trust me. But this was too important. Like, I'd still like,
I understand.
still, maybe check your bed, see if it's been apple pied, but this was too important.
No, like I didn't think I could ever trust you, but
That's nice to hear. It's alright.
what do you expect?
But, well, how is, Empress?
She's around. I'm just gonna look to see if she is around.
She's, sort of sitting on the other side of the fire, her back's to you, sort of sitting in a very, very traditional Egyptian cat pose.
Love it,
And
yeah.
as you sort of start talking about her, she sort of turns around, looks at you, gives a couple of slow blinks, and then turns back and continues staring out.
Yeah, she's just doing her thing. Look, there was something I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if you'll know the answer, but I think me just saying it will help. And she's just gonna quickly glance at the other two to make sure they are like asleep or not able to hear.
Yes,
at least.
even if they were awake, you're sitting a little bit apart, so they wouldn't be able to like overhear you. Go on. What's troubling you?
I just don't understand how we could ever go through this. Say somehow we're like the 1 in a million shop that doesn't die, nothing goes wrong, we actually solve the entire thing, stop the Titans, all of that, but then I just don't see how I'm ever gonna go back to life, like go back to the world, because this has been all that I've been doing for like the last month, and I just can't see myself living again.
I think what you've got to do is find what works for you. I know that some divine people, some people with the divine bloods or have been chosen, they fulfill the task they have been set and they go back to their regular life and they try to forget, or they live sort of in both worlds, which is very possible. There's nothing to stop you from telling your family, people you trust, about what's going on. You could bring them in, not to the dangerous things, but let them know what's happening. There's no rules against it. It doesn't...
I just don't want to hurt them.
It's not as...
And this is a world where the only thing I've seen is people getting hurt, and I can't do that to people I
know
love.
It's... Everything you've been through so far is quite bad, but it can be a wonderful place. There's magic, and there's such good magic in the world that regular people never see. You've been admittedly brought in at quite a difficult time, but think about what you've seen, what you've achieved. That is no mean feat, and you've started a legend about the three of you, and that will continue to grow. And I'm sure that if you talked to Bast, she would be able to help if you were worried about any danger affecting your family. I know I've protected families of children in the past. It's been a bad time, but it's not as lonely as it seems. There is wonder. There is beauty. There is such amazing magic in the world, and you're now part of that. And I know it's been difficult, but it is a gift.
It is a gift. I just wish it was one that I'd chosen, I suppose. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Well, bring it up with Bast when you see her.
No, yeah, I intend to. I hope she's not a sensitive
She is
person,
not.
because I've got things to say.
Just yell at her. It'll be fine.
That's good
Tends
to
to be
hear.
how she actually talks to people. It's a bit yelly sometimes, not in a bad way, but yeah. Like she's not gonna get annoyed about it. She'll probably expect it.
No, yeah, okay. In which case, I can see why she picked me. You know, I can't remember the last time I went this long without drinking.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or just a thing?
I don't know. It's different. It's different. I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's something that was always a part of who I am, I suppose, in the sense of you can build what your personality is like when you're a bit older, and I don't know where that's going now.
Well, I suppose the only thing is to wait and see.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And I think that is where we are going to end today's delicious RP-filled episode.
Oh, that was so good.
So juicy. Such juicy character backstories.
God, sorry, I feel like I've got adrenaline pumping after that. I was like... I was in my fight or flight mode. But of course, if the lovely listeners do want to wait and see what will happen next to our intrepid gang of three, you can do that, first of all, by following us at RWD_pod on Twitter and Instagram. There's behind-the-scenes pictures, a few fun tweets. There's this cool Pride project, which will have concluded by the time this comes out. You can still go back on it and enjoy all of our gay songs. if you just care about the actual episodes, you can of course follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Acast, or wherever else you get your podcasts at A Rendezvous with Destiny. That's all of the promo stuff out of the way. So now it's just over to
if you like me and you like hearing my voice and me doing silly things, I'm in another podcast. It's called Deck of Many Aces, and it's an actual play 5e podcast with actual asexuals and aromantics. They are there too. But we've been playing D&D 5e. I'm the tank of the party. It's a very different dynamic to this group, but things certainly do happen. And if you like us and you want to support us, there are a couple ways you can do that. I'm going to try it. We've got a Ko-fi link, which is a donation. I'm going to stick to it. It's Ko-fi from now on. I'm making an executive decision. So
that's a donation box, and our promise is any money that goes into that will be solely reinvested into the podcast, be that putting out merch, a website, or commissioning some cool art for us. So anything that goes there will be reinvested solely into the podcast.
And speaking of merch, that is something we are working on in the pipeline, and if that's something that you'd be interested in, let us know on Twitter or Discord or Instagram or at our email, which is rwdpodcastcontact@gmail.com, because there's no point of us putting stuff on sale if you guys aren't going to buy it, so let us know if you're interested. And the other thing is, as this episode and season starts to conclude, we may be doing a Q&A in a couple episodes, so keep an eye out on your social media. Again, if you have any questions that you'd like to be included, we'll probably put out an official tweet at some point, but do not hesitate to contact us on any of the social media previously mentioned. We want to answer your questions, so we want to have an episode full of questions which aren't submitted by us. But yeah. Oh, you guys, that was so much fun. Those are good 2 episodes. I'm really happy with us.
Very juicy.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad that we're getting back into the swing of recording a bit more now as well. Oh, more regular.
Yeah,
Very
it
nice.
is good.
Because, so
once a month energy. I think it's a good time. But yeah, so, I mean, I need something to fade out, so inane chatter. What's everyone going to do after this?
I'm going to immediately make some pasta. That's my plan.
Ooh,
That sounds
nice.
I'm going to make pasta.
What kind of pasta?
I'm just going to go with some... I don't know. See, part of me is torn because I might make noodles instead, just for fun. But...
I'm gonna do some pasta with like fresh tomatoes.
Ooh,
very nice.
That sounds good.
This material is unofficial and is not endorsed by Onyx Path. We are claiming no ownership over Onyx Path intellectual properties, game systems, art or stories, which remain the properties of the rights holders. All characters, names and locations used are either public domain or are entirely fictional and bear no intended resemblance to their real life counterparts. If you have any legal issues, please contact us directly.